Oh, you don't want to pay the tariff on the guitar that you're importing? Okay, no problem, because UPS will just destroy your package. Hey guys, welcome back to the Bald Shredder channel, and yes, I am here with an update on this whole tariff situation. Custom fees, import duties, whatever you want to call it. Now, specifically, I'm going to talk about UPS because I read a really interesting story a few days ago about UPS literally destroying people's packages because of all this tariff business. And then I'm going to tell you about me having guitars shipped here to me from Vietnam, and if there is a tariff or not, because I did receive one recently in September, after the tariffs sort of started going again. Now, if you guys remember this guitar right here, the white one, this is the most recent one that you guys have seen. And this one was shipped to me a few months ago. So this was done when all that tariff stuff was on hold and it wasn't happening. So when I got this a few months ago, there was no tariff, there was no import fees or nothing. I got it, no problems. Shipped with FedEx, shipped by air with FedEx from Vietnam and got here in a few days. Now I have received another guitar, which you guys are gonna see this coming Monday. The video will be on that guitar coming up on Monday, and it's a good one. Man, you're not gonna wanna miss this video. So Monday, you'll see my latest custom from IYV. But that guitar was shipped and received in September. And that's after the tariffs on Vietnam started up again, okay? 20%. 20% is the current tariff rate on anything that you import from Vietnam to the United States. And that whole oh, if it's under $800, it's exempt, you don't have to pay anything. That's out the window. That's gone now. That doesn't exist anymore. So yeah, of course, these guitars that I'm importing, they're under $800, but there's no exemption. So I didn't know. I didn't know if, I've got a guitar coming, it's September, tariffs are on, am I gonna get hit with that 20% fee? I had no idea. So the guitar is shipped. I've got the FedEx tracking number. I'm watching it. Usually when I get stuff shipped to me from IYV in Vietnam, it gets here in less than a week. I think one time it got here in 3 days, so really fast. Normally it lands in Alaska first, and I kind of think that's where the custom clearance happens. And again, it happens really quick. It's there less than a day, I think. And then it moves on and it flies to Northern California, and then it gets down here to Southern California and gets delivered to me. So when I'm watching this package now in September, the first part of September, I'm watching the tracking, it leaves Vietnam, it gets to Alaska at some point, custom clearance, it's cleared customs, but still I'm not getting any notification about, well, you need to pay this import duty, you need to pay this tariff. I see it's in Northern California. And then I see, okay, now it's in Southern California, out for delivery. I still have not received any notification about anything. So I'm wondering okay, is the FedEx guy gonna come to my door with this package and be I got this invoice here, you need to pay this or you can't have the package? I really had no idea. Well, that didn't happen. The package was delivered, left on my doorstep. I'm watching it on my Ring camera. I see it's there. The guy drives away. I get the email notification. Your package has been delivered. There's no email about owing money. And at that point, I'm still wondering, well, when I get home and I look at the box, maybe there will be an invoice under the plastic thing, But I thought they won't do that, because how would they enforce that? How would they make people pay that after they deliver it? So I figured there probably wasn't going to be any kind of tariff or import fee. And I was right. There wasn't any. But then that left an even bigger question in my mind. Watching the news, I'm knowing that starting in September, there's that 20% tariff for stuff coming from Vietnam, and I'm wondering, well, how come I didn't have to pay it? So then I'm thinking, well, maybe IYV paid it for me. Maybe that's part of what I paid for when I bought the guitar. Maybe they cover that fee. I don't know. Excuse me, guys. So what I did was I sent an email to my contact at IYV. I'm going to read you what I wrote, and then I'm going to read his response. So, this is what I wrote. Remember, it's Mr. Doe. Mr. Doe, I'm very curious about the tariffs or customs fees. I was not required to pay any at all. I thought maybe FedEx would ask for a customs fee, but they did not. This is good news, of course. It was my understanding that there is now a tariff on goods coming from Vietnam. Was this paid for by IYV, or was this avoided somehow? And I just wanted to know that because I wanted to be able to share the information with you guys. Like, you know, if you order a custom from IYV, is it going to be the same deal? Like there will be no tariff. And this was his response. Dear Richard, regarding tariffs and customs fees, we do not pay for tariffs or import customs in the U.S. Okay? However, according to FedEx Vietnam, starting from August 28th, the U.S. government canceled the $800 exemption, which I already mentioned to you guys. The tariff is 20%. Okay, just as I suspected. However, excuse me, guys. I'm not doing any editing on this video, so normally I would edit out all those, like, you know, clearing my throat or coughing, but whatever. However, this policy seems to be applied randomly for shipments to the U.S., so you are lucky to avoid the tariff this time. In contrast, we have another customer in California that informed us about a FedEx charge for the tax and duty. So another guy had to pay it in California, right? So it is uncertain and depends on your luck. So there you have it. I mean, it's weird. It seems weird to me that they wouldn't apply it to every single package, but maybe they're overwhelmed and I don't know. I just got lucky. I'm not really sure. So I'm going to be really curious to see what happens with my next custom guitar order. I just placed the order today in the email, so I would imagine maybe I'll get it end of November or December, and we'll see. Will I get lucky again? Will I not get lucky and have to pay a tariff? The one thing that I can tell you is that the last couple of times when I've got the guitars delivered from IYV, I opened up that plastic thing on the front and looked at all the paperwork. I looked at the customs paperwork to see what are they putting as the declared value, because remember, the tariff's going to be 20% of that declared value. So I think on the white guitar, it was only listed as like $55. Because on the white guitar, first of all, it wasn't the complete guitar. It was, the neck was off, it didn't have the pickups, it didn't have the tuners, didn't have the string trees, didn't have the nut, so it's kind of an incomplete guitar. $55. Now, the one that I received in September, the one that you guys are going to see on Monday, that had a little bit higher declared value. I think it was around like $110. But even still, let's say that there was a tariff on $110. 20% of $110. That's $22. So it's not some like devastating amount like, oh my gosh, you know, like the stuff coming from China, where it's this huge percentage. And it's like, well, the tariff's going to be as much as the guitar. And no, you know, 20%, and their declared value is lower maybe than what you actually paid for, because you got to remember what the guitar is worth to them is going to be less than what you paid. So that might be their value of what they're shipping. So anyway, we'll see on the next one if I end up paying that 20%. Now the UPS thing, guys, I don't know what's going on with UPS, but I'm going to have a link to this article that I saw a couple of days ago. I've got it up on my computer over there. It's from USA Today. UPS is literally destroying people's packages that are coming from overseas because of this tariff business, right? And the gist of it is that, like, they're overwhelmed. They're overwhelmed with the number of packages they're overwhelmed with trying to figure out what the heck are we supposed to be doing? What's the paperwork that we're supposed to have? What's the percentage of the tariff from this country and that country? Are we supposed to collect it? You know, because everything has changed so much back and forth over the past several months that they're just kind of like overwhelmed with everything. And it sounds like some people are getting their packages destroyed without even a chance to like take care of what's wrong or whatever. Like UPS tried to say something like, well, we make an effort to contact the person about any missing documents or any tariffs or fees that are due, and after like 3 attempts, if we can't get in contact, if we're not getting what we need, then we have no choice but to destroy the package or something like that. And of course you can imagine, you know, some people are quite like out of their minds over this, because some of the customers are saying, I never even got any contact from you. Literally, the first message I got from you was saying, you're destroying my package. And then there was things like, okay, I've got a tracking number, and when I check the tracking number, it says package being destroyed, and then the next day it's updated and saying out for delivery, and then they still didn't get their package, and just, anyway, all kinds of crazy stuff going on with UPS. Again, I'll have the link to that article if you want to read about it. But my takeaway from that is I wouldn't use UPS for any international shipping, for stuff coming to the United States. Maybe it's not an issue going out, right? It's just we've got these tariffs now for stuff coming in. Also, I don't know about you guys, I have not ordered anything from China in months. And I don't have any plan to, especially a guitar. Like, I'm not going to be ordering any guitars from AliExpress and having them shipped, because it's not just UPS. It's DHgate, could be FedEx too, I guess. But, you know, coming from China, and that's the big one, and you've got these pretty big tariffs, and then there's the chance that your package never even makes it. Maybe it gets destroyed. Maybe it gets sent back. I don't know. Would you even get a refund in that case? Like, if UPS destroys your package, who refunds you? The company who sent it? And why would they? They didn't destroy it. UPS destroyed it. Is UPS going to reimburse you for that destroyed package? I don't think so. So anyway, guys. So I think it's like bad news trying to import stuff from China. I would just stay away from that. But the good news is about ordering the guitars from IYV. Like I said, for me, they've always used FedEx Air. Gets here really quick, cleared customs really quickly, even in September. There was no tariff that I had to pay or that I was asked to pay. But as I read to you in that email, it could happen. It appears like it's like kind of random. But if it does, it's not going to break the bank. 20%. What if the guitar, you know, is valued at like $80? What's 20% of $80? $16. So you can do it. It's doable. It's not a big deal, I think. All right, guys. So that is pretty much it about the update on the tariff stuff, UPS, oh my gosh, and IYV and all that. So I'm curious if any of you guys have tried to import anything in the past couple of months from China. Have you bought something that got shipped from China? Were there any issues? Any issues of actually getting it delivered? You had to pay a tariff? And really, I'd love to hear, like, if any of you have had that experience where UPS was like, you know what? Sorry, you didn't have the necessary paperwork, and we had to destroy your package. You must be going out of your mind if that happened to you. All right, so let me know all that, guys, and make sure you tune in on Monday to see the brand new video on my brand new latest custom from IYV. All right, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.